Arthur Knight coin. Join me as I chat with the legendary Mr. Knight here in Hobart, Indiana. Take a look around this coin shop of dreams. Decades of numismatics, hordes of bullion coins and bars, rare paper currency, and most importantly, a man willing to share stories of decades in the coin industry. Hey everybody, this is T, and you're in the place to be for silver education, acquisition, and entertainment, and of course, numismatics. If you dig coin shop videos like this, be sure to like and subscribe. I make a bunch of them. Stay tuned for a great episode. T. Okay, Mr. Knight, thank you so much for having me back at your shop and making a video. I asked you if you had anything interesting in the shop today, and you said you just got some paper notes.
Yes, sir. The main collection was national currency brown seals, and each national bank, even small towns, would have their own money. So, like starting, you could see, here's a $20 bill from Valparaiso.
Yeah.
And Gary, Indiana, hard to find.
Yeah.
$100 bill, low serial number.
Oh, I see. 36.
And $50, never owned one in 50 years, 50. And here's some other Gary. Dyers are very hard to find, one small town.
Yeah, Gary was a big booming town, many decades ago, and now it's on hard luck. But for those folks around the country who may have family from Gary, or maybe they're from Gary, certainly bring back some nostalgia about the good days in Gary.
So what we need is a history teacher to get the story behind each note.
Yeah.
500s they don't make anymore.
Yeah.
And I have quite a number of 500s. And this one is graded. It's what's in this fancy holder.
I see that.
And I have some not graded ones. And they're different prices depending on the condition. Normally I'll only maybe have one or two, and I've got quite a few right now.
Well, graded or ungraded, they seem to go for quite a high premium, and that must be due to the collectability?
Yes, and they don't make many more, or thousands. I did have 14,000s, but they went very fast.
Wow. So how big is the collector market? I mean, are there a lot of guys, or are they just a very small but passionate group?
Well, the ones that specialize in the brown seals, the national currency, they're very specialized. So people in Indiana would probably collect Indiana. I do have quite a bit of Indiana and Illinois. Now, I only had a couple Texas, and a Texan called me and says, do you have any more Texas? I'm the main buyer. Well, Texas money, of course. I did have one from Wyoming.
Okay.
And that one went for $4,000.
Wow.
Now, this is another one. What makes it valuable?
Yeah.
It's a serial number 1.
Incredible. So this, what year is this one?
That'd be 1929. That's the last year. And then when they switched over to Federal Reserve notes, they were supposed to turn these back in.
I see.
So a lot of them have been destroyed.
Ah. So Valparaiso had it was issuing its own bills.
Yes.
And banks all around the country were issuing.
If they were a national bank, like Gary National Bank, however, Hobart did not have a national bank. I don't know why. Valpo had a couple. And smaller towns are worth more, of course, like, for instance, the Dyer note's very scarce.
Right.
There was not a Crown Point. Crown Point is very scarce. I don't know if it even exists now.
That's surprising.
But being it's a very rare note, wasn't there.
Yeah, well, Crown Point was out in the sticks back in the day, and it's really grown up quite a bit.
I did sell a gentleman last week a New Carlisle, and he said he'd been looking for it for like 10 years, and there was only, I think, 7 made in New Carlisle that existed.
Now, this is a gold back here?
Yeah, this is a gold back $100 bill. Condition's a little shot, but here's a 20. You can see how beautiful the money used to be.
Yeah, it really is gorgeous. And that portrait of Washington and just It just looks so regal, and the artwork there with all the scroll around the bill. And so you would be able to take that piece of paper and cash it in for real gold.
Right, but not now. See, then you could. That's why they made these. So that if you, especially like the silver certificates, if you worked in the silver mine, they paid you in silver dollars, and you had $20 in your pocket, pocket might break. So then you could take your silver certificate and get silver for it. But that has changed now.
Yes. And these two, the gold, are both quite large compared to regular bills.
So the large ones, they were called horse blankets because they were so big they kind of wouldn't fit in your wallet. So you had to call them something. Now that would be worth a lot more, except somebody put some Scotch tape on it. It kind of hurts it. Otherwise, it'd be quite a bit more.
I have to see the back of this one. Well, look at that artwork there. And then up here we have, from my hometown where I grew up, the First National Bank of East Chicago.
Oh, price just went up now.
I'll tell you what, it might not matter because these are a lot of my price range anyway, but it's a cool piece of history. I remember going to the First National Bank of East Chicago when I was a kid with my dad, and had marble floors and lines of tellers.
Right on Indianapolis Boulevard there?
Yeah, and
beautiful.
Chicago Avenue.
History's gone. Walgreens built a store, and now that's changed already.
It sure has.
History's gone.
It was a shame because my family has some history there. My grandmother was in the proximity when John Dillinger robbed that bank.
That would make this bill very famous.
Yeah.
Because it was a bill that maybe John Dillinger had at one time.
My goodness. And there's a Crown Point connection, but my grandmother was at the dime store as a little girl. I created a video about her telling the story, and it's if anybody wants to watch it, I'll put the link in the video. But there's Hammond.
I don't know if Dillinger went to Hammond. He could have.
Well, he used to play cards. East Chicago was like the Wild West back many decades ago, and people got away with a lot of things. Matter of fact, a lot of the Chicago criminals would come to my town of East Chicago because it was a safe haven for them. And I'll tell you what, lots of history there. And up here we have, this one has a gold seal.
Gold seal. This is from World War II, North Africa. They made these special in case they lost some money, they could void those, being they had that certain seal on them.
Okay.
And this is what's called the United States note. And there again is almost perfect condition. And this is a United States note 100.
Okay.
And a red seal.
The red seal, and that looks pristine. It looks like just came off the printing press just yesterday. The 64 PPQ. What does the PPQ stand for?
Premium paper quality.
Premium paper quality.
Thank you very much. A little assist from one of your colleagues here. And well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Knight, it's always a pleasure to come visit you. If any of my viewers are interested in these bills, and this is just a sampling of what you have, just for educational purposes, but you've got a lot more than this. I appreciate you taking the time to show me and to educate my viewers and I about the history of these bills. So thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Hey, let me show you what I purchased at the coin shop today. But before I do, a special thank you to my channel members. Thank you guys for supporting my efforts to bring you videos just like this one. And a special welcome to my newest channel member, Lewis.
And because the guy's big time, but having seen Nudemaker, he's got heavy duty stuff.
He does.
So talking to a guy from Plymouth during the rush in 1980, he said he had people lined up, but when the silver was at the $50 an ounce, and you could still find change.
Yeah.
And he says that Nudemaker ran out of checks, and he called the bank, and he says, "Well, get a check and make a copy of it. You can still use the checks." He says that in one day, Nudemaker bought $8 million worth of stuff.
It really was a treat to chat with Mr. Knight. And if you enjoyed this conversation, well, obviously you made it to this point in the video, so you must have. I've got a couple other videos queued up on the screen. All you have to do is tap them and click on through to enjoy more stories from Mr. Knight. Thanks for watching, everybody.